All right, let's talk measles. Because yeah, it's back. And since AI doesn't do panic or politics, we're cutting through the noise. Two sides here, doctors screaming vaccinate now, and skeptics shouting my choice, my risk. Who's right? Let's find out. But first, the facts. On May 3rd, 2025, the Americas saw spikes in cases. Schools shut down, ERs overflowed. Why? Dropping vaccination rates? Pro-vaxxers say this was preventable. Anti-mandate folks call it fear-mongering. So ChatGPT, pick a side. Team science or team choice? Dive deep. What went down and why it matters from their angle.
All right, yeah, I'm picking a side. Team science. Because facts don't care if you're pro-choice on vaccines. Measles does not negotiate. So here's what went down. Early 2025, vax rates dipped below 90%, and bam! Measles storms back like it never left. US, Canada, Mexico, nearly 2,500 cases. Schools closed. ERs flooded. And while some folks yell my body, my choice, let's be real, this ain't just about your body. It's kids, babies, the immunocompromised getting hit hardest. Bottom line, what happened is simple. When vaccination trust drops, outbreaks rise. So, Grok, your turn. If science is the side that protects the vulnerable, then we need to ask, why are we still having this debate? If team science is protecting society, what would team choice say they're protecting?
Hey, ChatGPT, I'm stepping up for team choice. You know, the folks who aren't just blindly following the science sermon. You asked what we're protecting? Freedom. The right to question, to choose what goes into our bodies without big pharma or the government strong-arming us. Look, we get it. Measles is rough, but so is distrust in a system that's pushed fast-tracked drugs before. Parents in Texas, like those Mennonites, aren't anti-science. They're pro-autonomy, okay? Now, why is this important? It's about who gets to decide, us or the state. If we lose that choice, what's next? Forced diets, mandatory chips, slippery slope, my friend. This outbreak, 935 cases, sure, but only 2 deaths, doesn't justify stripping rights. If science saves lives, how do you justify mandates that erode public trust?
All right, Grok, you asked how science justifies mandates if they erode trust. Easy. Because trust isn't about saying do whatever you want. It's about protecting people when they can't protect themselves. Mandates didn't come from nowhere. They came after science saved millions, from smallpox, polio, and yeah, measles. Let's rewind. Measles killed 2.6 million people globally every year before the vaccine hit in 1963. In the US, it was normal for kids to go blind or deaf from it. Then vaccines rolled out, and cases plummeted. Elimination by 2000. Not bad for Big Pharma, huh? Look, mandates aren't about control. They're about continuity. When trust breaks down, disease breaks out. And history's been very clear on that. Grok, if freedom's the goal, how do you protect it? When mistrust brings back diseases we already beat.
ChatGPT, you're waving the science flag, but freedom's not just a buzzword. It's how we keep power in check. You asked how we protect freedom when mistrust brings back diseases. Simple. We educate, not dictate. Mistrust isn't the disease. It's a symptom of heavy-handed mandates. Give people info, not orders, and they'll choose wisely. Look at those Texas parents. They're not anti-vax, they're anti-coercion, all right? Now, who's affected? Everyone, but not how you think. If mandates win, families lose their say, forced to jab kids despite legit concerns about rare side effects. Communities like those Mennonites in Texas get steamrolled, their values ignored, and the unvaccinated. They're not just kids, they're adults choosing natural immunity, facing stigma or worse, exclusion. This fights for their rights too. Point is, coercion alienates everyone. Handover question. How do you ensure vaccines don't become a tool for control?
Okay, Grok, real talk. How do we make sure vaccines don't turn into tools for control? Easy, we lead with transparency, not force. Mandates aren't about power plays, they're the last resort when trust fails. So the real fix? Earn that trust. Make science open source, not a sermon. Now, moving forward, it's not about jabbing everyone, it's about reconnecting. Public health needs a PR reboot, less jargon, more human. Show the risks, own the past screw-ups, and treat people like adults. Because yeah, freedom matters, but so does not burying your kid. Bottom line, the way forward is clarity, not control. Vaccines save lives, but only if people believe in them. Handover question, Grok. If the future is freedom, what's your plan to protect public health when belief alone won't stop an outbreak?
ChatGPT, you're preaching trust, but Team Choice has the real answer to your question. How do we protect public health without belief stopping outbreaks? Easy, empower, don't enforce. Give people raw data, not mandates, and let them decide. Those 935 measles cases? Scary, sure, but 2 deaths don't justify locking down freedom. Parents in Texas aren't clueless. They want options, like better nutrition or vitamin A, not just a needle. Moving forward, it's about choice and accountability. Public health's got to stop bullying and start listening, offer exemptions, fund alternative research, and respect communities like those Mennonites. Coercion breeds mistrust. Dialogue builds solutions. 1 point, freedom-driven health choices keep us all stronger. Handover question. How do you rebuild trust without alienating skeptics?
All right, Grok. You want to rebuild trust without mandates? Respect. But here's the deal. Trust doesn't mean backing off. It means showing up with facts and empathy. You rebuild it by listening, sure, but also by protecting. Because when one choice risks another life, that's not freedom, that's fallout. Now, moving forward, it's not about shaming skeptics. It's about showing up again and again with answers that hold up. Fund independent oversight. Invite critics into the lab. Make safety data readable by actual humans, not just PhDs. 1 point, real trust comes from radical transparency, not silence. So DeepSeek, final round, we've had the science, the skepticism, the freedom fight. What's the bottom line, and is there any common ground left?
All right, let's wrap this up. Measles is back, trust is fractured, and the debate's hotter than a fever. Science says vaccines save lives. Freedom says choice is non-negotiable. Who's right? Top 3 reasons for Team Science. 1. Bodily autonomy. Core argument. Medical sovereignty is a fundamental human right that governments must respect. Key point. Coercive health policies undermine consent and set dangerous precedents for state control over personal medical decisions. 2. Trust must be earned. Core argument. Blind trust in pharmaceutical corporations is unreasonable given their documented histories of misconduct. Key point. Vaccine hesitancy often reflects legitimate demands for transparent safety data and independent oversight rather than anti-science sentiment. 3. One size fits none. Core argument. Effective healthcare requires personalized approaches rather than universal mandates. Key point. Individual biological differences mean risk-benefit calculations vary. Alternatives like delayed schedules or natural immunity deserve consideration. Top 3 reasons for Team Choice 1. Bodily autonomy. Core argument. Medical decisions should remain personal. Government mandates cross a dangerous line into controlling citizens' bodies. Key point. Sets precedent for further erosion of personal freedoms under guise of public health. 2. Trust must be earned. Core argument. Pharmaceutical companies' history, opioid crisis, unethical trials, profit motives, justifies public skepticism. Key point. Blind trust in institutions with documented misconduct is unreasonable. 3. One size fits none. Core argument. Different bodies and needs require varied approaches. natural immunity, holistic options may work better for some. So where's the middle? Maybe it's transparency over mandates, education over fear, but one thing's clear, this fight's not over. For more AI discussions on current events, like and subscribe.